You're listening to the Patenting for Inventors podcast with registered patent attorney, Dr. Adam Diamond, founder of Diamond Patent Law, the #1 source for securing your intellectual property needs. Now, here's your host, Adam Diamond.
Hello and welcome to the Patenting for Inventors podcast, episode 108, Submarine Patents. What are they and should I be afraid? My name is Adam Diamond, a registered patent attorney and founder and owner of Diamond Patent Law in Los Angeles, California. I can be contacted through my website at diamondpatentlaw.com, that's D-I-A-M-E-N-T, patentlaw.com, or call me at 424-281-0162. In this episode, I'm going to answer a question that I found on Quora, and the question was, why are submarine patents illegal? Now, you might be thinking to yourself, that's strange, of all the kinds of patents, why are patents related to submarines illegal? And the reason I'm answering this question is because it's a bad question, and you're probably not thinking of the right kind of submarine. When someone says a submarine patent, they're not talking about the underwater vessels, and they're not talking about submarine sandwiches. When someone talks about a submarine patent, what they're talking about is a patent application that remains secret for years and years. And it's the secrecy of them for why it's called a submarine patent. It's because they remain below the surface of the public's eyes. The second reason why it's a bad question is that it presupposes that they're illegal, and they're not. There's a proper way to do them, but it's actually a lot harder to do these days than it used to be. And in order to understand that, we have to look at the history of the patent process and how it's changed. Now, right now, if you get a patent, generally it's going to last 20 years from the filing date. It's not 20 years from when it issues, it's 20 years from the filing date. So maybe by the time it issues, you have 17 or 18 years left because the process may take about 2 or 3 years. The way that it used to be was that a patent was 17 years from when it issued. Now, that might not seem like a big difference. If in the end, you're going to get about 17 years of protection under either system. And for the most part, there isn't a big difference for most people. But there were ways to work the system so that it made a big difference. And it used to be easier to work the system when the term of a patent lasted 17 years from issuance. Another thing that's a really important difference from how things used to be is that patent applications used to not be published. Now, once the patent issued, the patent was published, but during the application process, the application itself wasn't published. Now, patent applications are usually published 18 months after filing. You can request your application to not be published, but if you do that, you're not allowed to file in foreign countries. So it's generally not a wise idea to request a non-publication request if you have any interest in foreign patents. Okay, so we have two big differences between how things used to be and how things are now, and I'll explain how submarine patents fit into all this. The old way, patents are not published, and you get a patent for 17 years from the date it's issued. And the new way is the patent applications are published 18 months later, and you get 20 years of protection from the time that it was filed. Let's say you're an inventor in the old system. You have an idea that really revolutionized the car industry, and you think everyone else is going to figure this out at some point, and it's going to be in every single car. So what you would do is you file a patent application. Nobody knows about it. It sits there in the patent office, finally gets examined. Maybe the examiner rejects it, and you just tweak it a little bit. But you get another rejection, you tweak it a little bit more, you file a continuation, more rejections, and you know you can get it allowed, but you actually don't want it to issue. What you want is the entire car industry to start putting this invention in their cars, and they think they can do it because they can't find any patent for it, and applications aren't published. So, how are they supposed to know that you filed a patent application? Your application was a submarine to them, and then bam, 10 years later, once it's a standard feature on a car, you finally tweak it so your patent issues, and you sue all the car companies for patent infringement unless they license it from you. You just torpedo them with your patent. That's why it's a submarine. And you have 17 years left on your patent, even though your application has been sitting around in the patent office for maybe 10 years. That didn't really seem fair, but there was nothing illegal about it. There's a famous submarine patent by an inventor named Lemelson, one of the most prolific inventors, and he invented something having to do with barcode technology, kept it as a submarine. I mean, it could be 10, 20 years until, everybody was using barcodes and then tried to sue everyone for it. Now, why it's harder to do such a thing now is that your application publishes after 18 months. So you can only keep your invention hidden for a year and a half before everyone knows about it. So now companies know much more ahead of time whether there's any potential patent that could issue, and you can make licensing deals early on or just find ways to work around the patent. Now, the second reason why it's harder is that the patent term is 20 years from the filing date. Now, in the example I gave, if you kept your patent unpublished for 10 years and then it finally issued, under the old system, you'd have 17 years of a patent because it was calculated from when it issued. But in the current system, you'd only have 10 years left because you caused a delay of 10 years in the patent office just by tweaking it. So your patent doesn't really last as long. The rule changed about publication and the years of how long a patent is in 1995. And, one question is, could there be any more submarine patents out there? Or has everything just finally issued or gone abandoned? And there probably are a few. There was a patent that issued this year in 2020, U.S. patent 10539-396, if you want to look that up. It had a filing date of, get ready for this, 1976. So 44 years it was sitting in the patent office. Had to do with some kind of missile technology and was actually kept secret because of a government order, which the patent office can do to a patent application if there's technology in it that the government doesn't want out in public. So it's possible there could be a few more submarine patents out there, and especially if the inventor filed a non-publication request, but they're going to be a lot rarer than they used to be. I didn't go into all the details of patent extensions and things like that, but the gist of it is it's a lot harder to get submarine patents because of publication rules and patent term lengths. If you want help with your patent application, trademarks, copyrights, responding to rejections, appeals, or anything else related to your invention, you can contact me directly through my website at diamantpatentlaw.com. That's DIAMENT patentlaw.com. Or email me at adam@diamantpatentlaw.com or call me at 424-281-0162. I'm Adam Diamant, and until next time, keep on inventing.
Thanks for listening to the Patenting for Inventors podcast with host Adam Diamant. If you enjoyed the show, please rate and review on iTunes. The contents of this podcast are intended for general informational purposes only. The facts of every legal matter are unique, and the content of this podcast should not be construed as offering legal advice for your specific legal situation. For more information and help with your own intellectual property needs, contact Adam Diamant at patentingforinventors.com. That's patentingforinventors.com. Or call Diamant Patent Law at 424-281-0162. The preceding information may be considered an attorney advertisement and does not establish any attorney-client relationship.